Hello and welcome to Skypothesis. This week we are excited to share with you all perhaps our most unique roleplay build to date. We take inspiration from all corners of fantasy to provide a unique role-playing experience to Skyrim. This is the Art Thief. A dashing con man, this master of speech and cunning desires two things above all else: fabulous tales of his adventures to dazzle eager listeners, and the power radiating from the almighty septum. The Art Thief will utilize this power of coin to its absolute fullest, buying, selling, and bartering his way to glory. What he lacks in combat skills he makes up for with wit and charm. Aided by his Dwemer bodyguards, he can be found across Tamriel, always searching for the biggest heist. The Art Thief spent his entire childhood in the Imperial city. His parents were simple merchants and required his assistance to manage their general store. They were frustratingly content with their simple lifestyle and low social standing. The young thief kept up his duties, but observed passing noblemen on the streets and listened to how they spoke to each other. He was exceptionally observant and imitated the mannerisms and language of the higher classes. When his parents passed away, he took up management of the struggling general store. Times were tough, and he came to rely on his wit, charm, and ability to tell convincing lies to keep it afloat. One day, he caught a thief trying to make off with one of his antique rugs from Hammerfell. He thought to call for the guards, but then recognized an opportunity. He offered to let the thief go in exchange for becoming a fence for the Thieves Guild. A deal was made with the guild, and the thieves began dropping off goods. It proved to be a profitable arrangement for both parties, as the Art Thief's sharp eyes helped him spot the right customers to offer legal goods to. Years passed, and his general store became nothing more than a front for his illegal deals. He made a name for himself after successfully brokering the sale of extremely rare and expensive antiquities, paintings, sculptures, and anything that required careful planning and precision. The Thieves Guild contracted him to meet in person with high-profile targets under the guise of selling fine wares. He would sit down to discuss a deal with a wealthy nobleman, all the while sizing up his house, points of entry and exit, and the value of art hanging on the walls. He took a cut from the guild if his information proved useful, and if the heist was successful. The Art Thief's ambition and confidence only grew with time. He began setting his sights on tombs and Aelid ruins. He could afford to hire a small army of bodyguards to help in excavations and pay bonuses for their silence. He could afford to hire craftsmen to create passable facsimiles of rare gemstones. He never officially joined the Thieves Guild, preferring to operate as a contractor in fence so he could keep a higher cut for himself, and having greater flexibility with the rules. Unfortunately, that meant he was completely alone if a deal went south. He trusted fully in the weight of his web of lies and bribes and was not prepared when it collapsed. The Penitus Oculatus were tracking his accounts and knew he was involved in shady business. However, they could never mount enough evidence to make an official arrest. Instead, they secretly broke into his house at night, gagged him, and shipped him off to the Imperial garrison near Helgen, where they informed the local captain he was a prisoner of war. There, he would be unceremoniously disposed of as a casualty of the Civil War. After miraculously escaping Helgen, he catches his breath in Riverwood, and the gravity of his situation begins to weigh on him. He can't go back to the Imperial city. The Penitus Oculatus has no doubt already claimed his assets, and he would be arrested on sight if he returned. No, he had no choice but to start a new life in Skyrim. This time, he was going to have allies watching his back. He immediately heads to Riften to make contact with the Thieves Guild. When role-playing as the Art Thief, rule number 1 is to always leverage the power of coin. He does not interact with the game world like other characters or even other thieves. It takes a firm commitment to the speech skill tree to make this work. He will use many different poisons and spell scrolls, but he does not make them himself. He doesn't have the skill to do that and doesn't need to learn how when he can instead buy what he needs from vendors. Whether he's reverse pickpocketing a poison or summoning a storm Atronach, he has already paid skilled craftsmen to create these tools for him. He will often head to local taverns to hire a bodyguard to help him with dangerous situations. He is no warrior, but Skyrim proved to be a much more dangerous land than Cyrodiil, and he has learned resourceful ways to defend himself. His first priority is the Thieves Guild, and you will want to grind through those quests and become the guildmaster relatively early. Though tough at first, the Art Thief is motivated and quickly rises through the ranks. He learns the art of stealth, pickpocketing, and lockpicking. Over time, important vendors come to the Ragged Flagon, which makes stocking up on poisons and selling gear much easier. Prioritizing the Thieves Guild will allow him to start his adventure with allies at his back, plenty of vendors, and a financial foothold in Skyrim. Along the way, remember to pick up every valuable sculpture and unique item to sell to Delvin. Filling up the display shelf with ornate valuables is one of the most rewarding goals of this character. His crowning achievement, pun intended, is obtaining the crown of Baron Zaya. This represents the culmination of his efforts, the ultimate heist, and the most beautiful item he has ever acquired. When he travels to Solitude for the first time, its beauty takes his breath away. To him, this is the only major hub of culture in an otherwise dark and dreary land. He acquires Proudspire Manor, which becomes his main home. He joins the Bard College to indulge of his love of art and literature. He spends a lot of time here wandering the streets and shops in his various outfits of fine apparel, and he mingles with the highest nobles of the land. Inevitably, he learns he is Dragonborn. He panics at first and tries to keep his identity hidden. He's worried that it might interfere with his business ventures, but eventually he realizes that it can be one more tool to leverage. We recommend halting the main quest after meeting Delphine, postponing it until you are fully kitted out with your dwarven bodyguards. Speaking of which, the Art Thief's greatest offensive asset is his 2 personal steadfast dwarven spheres. The first you gain as a reward for completing the Trials of Cogramez, the second can be summoned from the Ethereal Staff. Acquiring these can be challenging for a character like this, but with the right steps of preparation it can be done. The reward is worth it, and the intricately carved spheres are a great source of pride for the Art Thief. While they don't technically make any more noise than your average follower, it is usually wise to tell it to wait in a hidden location before you break into a house to steal something or pickpocket an unsuspecting merchant. Having a clunking Dwemer sphere following you would just reek of suspicion. Keep them for combat situations only. Even though the Art Thief adapts well to his new life in Skyrim, he still harbors a deep resentment of the Penitus Oculatus. They broke the rules. His network in Cyrodiil was perfect, he never left evidence to convict. To the Art Thief, the Penitus Oculatus cheated, they made it personal, and now he wants to get even. With this perspective, certain moments throughout the Dark Brotherhood provide a thrilling side story that provides depth to the character and a dramatic and satisfying ending. Now let's discuss creating the character. The Art Thief has little combat skill, but was immediately drawn to the shiny gold enhanced dwarven crossbow when he first laid eyes on it in Fort Dawnguard. A weapon fit for a lord, he thought. After a few lucrative lessons from marksmen like Feindal, he found that he was able to fire off accurate shots when needed. He also carries a matching dwarven dagger to use situationally. Obtaining the Dawnguard crossbow was the biggest roleplay leap we had to make. We imagine he joins the Dawnguard after hearing the vampires hoard valuable treasure and desires the tools to help him safely get close enough to steal from them. For his outfit, he wears the unique male variant of Vittoria Vici's wedding dress. We had no idea that this article of clothing had a male version and were very surprised to see how regal and vibrant it looked. We felt it matched the Art Thief's extravagant personality, so we determined that it would be worth the effort in obtaining it. He may also change into other variants of the fine robes depending on the occasion. The merchant boots match the deep red of the wedding dress, along with the shrouded hand wraps. These hand wraps will also let the Art Thief deal double damage with one-handed attacks, allowing for assassinations only when absolutely necessary. Moving on to the Art Thief's spells and shouts. For spells, anything that can be cast in scroll form is fair game. These are single-use spells that we roleplay can't be memorized. A skilled wizard has already spent the magicka to cast them and locked the spell in an arcane scroll until activation. He purchases these from vendors and loots them in his travels. For shouts, he will use a variety including Throw Voice, Aura Whisper, Disarm, and Slow Time. For potions and poisons, he will only use what he buys from vendors. However, reverse pickpocketing potent poisons is his chosen way to assassinate someone in public places. For the Dark Brotherhood questline, there are ample opportunities for this. He will also want to buy healing potions and potions of haggling whenever they are available. Moving on to the Art Thief's stats and perk spread. You will want to level him with a ratio of 3 health to 2 stamina. Stamina will be useful for increased carry weight, aiming his crossbow, and hightailing it out of dangerous places. For the Standing Stone, we chose to use the Serpent, because sometimes you just don't see that cave bear charging you from around the corner, and having the ability to instantly paralyze a target can save your life in a pinch. By the time you reach level 40, you will want the following perks. In Archery, take just one perk in Overdraw, Eagle Eye, and both perks in Steady Hand. The enhanced dwarven crossbow is already plenty powerful, and the art thief only uses it when he needs to provide support to his bodyguards. In pickpocket, you will take all 5 in light fingers, night thief, poisoned, cut purse, misdirection, and perfect touch. Cut purse will be integral as you roleplay swindling skill trainers by pickpocketing the training money you just paid them. Misdirection and perfect touch also allow for memorable fights. A naked fist-swinging bandit won't stand a chance against your bodyguards. You will take all perks in sneak except for the perk Shadow Warrior, which we feel doesn't fit the art thief. He is sneaky, yes, but not some dark, arcane assassin. If he wants to turn invisible, he will need to buy a potion of invisibility. Finally, we will be perking the entire speech tree. This is probably the most overlooked tree in the entire game, but the benefits it provides in bartering with merchants makes a money-focused character like the art thief so much more enjoyable to play. The bonuses to bribery and intimidation are a nice plus, but the main draw is the improved interaction with vendors. You can amass enough gold to always have powerful scrolls and poisons on hand, enough money to easily buy training for other skills, and you can even buy all the player houses without making a dent in your coffers. If you've watched our other character builds, you may notice that we stop our perk list at level 40. This is when we feel characters begin to feel fleshed out, but they are by no means an endpoint. If you plan to play past level 40, this is a perfect character to add lockpicking. We felt it was functionally the least important of the skill trees we've discussed, but perking the tree will be great for roleplay and making even more money. And now it's time for our favorite part of each build, the special moves. First off is the art thief's most common tactic when faced with tough enemies, Escape Artist. This move is done by using the ethereal staff to conjure a Dwemer sphere or spider near your enemies, then using a potion of invisibility. This will allow you ample time to hightail it out of sticky situations while your enemy's attention is focused elsewhere. The art thief would argue that he is not fleeing but simply repositioning to outwit his opponents. Next is Silver Tongue, which is combining the effects of Shrine of Zenithar, Amulet of Articulation, Potion of Haggling, and the Mask of Clavicus Vial. This is a routine combination of effects to use anytime you are about to go on a shopping spree. It will allow you to stock up on your expensive poisons and scrolls and get the most out of bartering stolen goods. Finally, we have Bardic Focus. During this move, the art thief musters his courage and pictures himself the hero in a song sung by bards around a fire. It is performed by using slow time, bardic knowledge, and the steady hand perk. Time seems to stop as the drums of bardic knowledge ring in his ears, replenishing his stamina and allowing him to have near infinite time to aim and fire his crossbow. And with those special moves completed, we are ready to wrap up the art thief. We wanted to create a character that fully explored the seldom used speech tree to its fullest, and we found that playing as this character provided a new perspective on the game. It was an engaging challenge with some extremely satisfying gameplay and roleplay moments. As always, we hope you've enjoyed the journey, and if you like what we do, be sure to like and subscribe to keep the magic of Skyrim alive. We'll see you next time right here on Skypothesis.